Shalom, family. As the season is shifting from winter into spring, and as the scriptural year is ending and shifting into a new year now, the Most High has been shifting my perspective and giving me insight as to where I am in my phase of healing and how to proceed from where I am now. So I wanted to share with you in hopes that it will also speak to you in some way and maybe give you some insights as well. So a few months ago, I realized that I was at the bottom of a hole surrounded by walls of dirt. So over the last year and a half, my feet had been kind of slowly slipping into the dirt as more and more of my symptoms began to flare up with my health and as I struggled to maintain my livelihood. And I just kept going and going until I couldn't go anymore. So I'm in this hole, and my energy levels are diminishing, and my mental clarity is diminished, and my abilities are diminished. My body's dealing with pain. My ability to work is diminished, and my bank account is diminished, and my emotions are just in a whirlwind, and my faith is in question because I just am trying to wrap my mind around this cycle that keeps coming back up. And the first thing that I was challenged by the Father to do was actually not to try to get out of the hole, but to first acknowledge it. The first thing that He showed me to do was to acknowledge it, because I had been in it for a while, but still just moving and going around on a hamster wheel, just trying to survive and not knowing how to stop and still survive at the same time. So the Most High had me to stop everything and to look at and acknowledge the whole. And the whole can be whatever your current situation is that is in need of an answer. It's the place where there's no way out except up. And He had me to look at it and to look at reality. And first we have to look at and fully embrace reality in order to comprehend the truth that's hidden within it. We can't find answers, we can't find solutions while we're in a state of denial and while we're blind to what reality really is. So embracing reality opens the doorway for truth to be revealed and to pave the way for life to come forth. So remember, a hole is a place both where life and death is hidden. So when you die, the body is buried in a hole and hidden under the dirt. So it's a place of death. But you also place a seed in the ground, and that seed also dies, but because of what's in that seed, because of what it contains, it connects with the soil. It begins to actually bring forth new life out of it. So the hole gives you an opportunity to die to yourself. The hole is a place in the space that gives you an opportunity to die to yourself and all that's in you, and to surrender to the life that the Father is able to give to you in that situation so that something new can be birthed out of it. So when we're in denial, we fail to embrace the reality of the hole or of the soil that we're in. So we end up resisting the process of dying, and we miss that the soil, the hole, that dirt would have activated us and started the process of a new life. All right. So back to me again. So as I finished spinning my wheels and I finally stopped everything, despite what I perceived the consequences to be of stopping everything, I began to embrace the reality that I couldn't keep pushing through. I couldn't just keep going the way that I was going. I had to embrace the fact that I had something that was attacking my body. And unless I do something to fix it and to fight it, unless I, do something that is going to create circumstances that are conducive to my healing, both in my external world and in my internal world, I had to stop to do that, or I would have just gotten worse and worse. So the Most High showed me that now that I'm at this hole, I'm in the bottom of this hole, I acknowledge where I'm at. Now I'm going to need a rope. So when you're in a hole, you need help from the outside to be able to get out. So you need help while you're in this hole to sustain yourself until you're able to get out of the hole. You need to be able to still survive. So I began to reach out to people for help. to reach out to the Most High to ask for help. And I began to receive help. I began to receive prayer. I began to receive various acts of kindness. I began to receive financial help to be able to, get the supplements that I need and to cover certain of my financial needs, to get food. And it's a humbling feeling to be down in a hole and unable to climb out and dependent on the Most High and dependent on the help of those who He moves upon to be able to sustain yourself. So it's a humbling place to be. But while the seed is in the ground, it's dependent on that rain to be able to bring water so that it can be nourished and to begin to wet the soil and to begin to get what it needs to get to growth. So I've been very thankful for the ability to sustain myself, for the kindness of people, for the willingness of those who have shown love and have given and have helped throw the rope down so that I can start this process of getting out of this hole. So while I was in a bad state, starting off in a hole over the last 2 months, I've begun to regain some strength and to be built up some. So now I've been in this place where I'm gaining some strength. I have some rope, but I'm still in this hole. I'm still not well. I'm still don't have the financial stability. I still don't, know exactly the process of getting out of here. And I find myself going back and forth with these feelings of hopelessness and helplessness and just trying to figure out, how do I get out of this hole? So I start to look around and start to pull on the dirt walls that surrounded me. I'm surrounded by this dirt, and I start to pull on the walls to see if I'm maybe strong enough to climb up these walls and get out of this hole. But the walls just begin to crumble in my hands, and the walls can't sustain and carry my weight. So the Most High shows me that I can't put my weight, my trust, my faith in what I see surrounding me at the moment. I can't set my eyes on where I am right now and get any strength or support from this place. He said the time of looking at and embracing the reality of the whole was for a season. So he started showing me. So I started off saying that he wanted me to look at the hole that I'm in and embrace the reality of it and really take it in so that I can embrace where I'm at, so that I can know what I need to do to move forward. Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, you don't know how to move forward. But at this point, now that I've embraced it and now that I've gotten the rope and now that I've gotten some strength and nourishment and gotten a little stronger, he's saying that this is not the part where you're looking at into the hole anymore. You're not going to pull on this place right now that you're in for your support and for your strength. Okay, he's saying at the time of embracing that was for a season, it was for a purpose, and now you're in a different place. So now he's saying it's time to eat and rise up. It's time to pick up your mat and walk. It's time to feed and go. But you can't climb your way out by holding on to the resources that kept you while you were in the hole. You can't climb out of the hole from the hole. Sometimes when you're stuck in a place, you can't climb your way out from within that place. Sometimes you have to pull yourself out of that place by propelling something out into the distance, out into the place in the space where you can't seem to see yet or reach yet, but you know that it's out there. You know that it's the goal and the destination. So the Most High said, now you need an anchor. If you have the rope here, but it's just rope. Now you need an anchor. And if you propel that anchor out into the space that you know that you're trying to get to, and you connect that rope that you have to it, you hold on to the rope and you propel it out into the space where you're trying to go and allow it to anchor itself in the ground of that space. And it's that once it's anchored in the ground of that space where you're going, it's going to stabilize you as you pull yourself out to that space. You allow your weight to pull on the strength and the stability of the anchor that's in the ground of the place where you're going. You can't put your weight, your trust, your faith in what's surrounding you at the moment. These dirt walls of our circumstances, they start to crumble when you try to pull on it. It can't support you. It'll crumble right in your hands under your weight. You have to pull on the strength of where you are going and not on what currently has you stuck and encumbered. You have to set your eyes and your faith and your vision, your trust on the strength of that thing in the future, that thing that's beyond where you are right now. So the Most High said, I don't just need rope now. I need to connect that rope to an anchor. I need to be able to see the ground that's beyond this hole that I'm in and anchor my trust firmly into that place. And holding on to the rope, which is the help that Yahuah provides through the family of believers and supporters. Holding on to that rope, knowing that the ground, the vision, the hope of the future is firm and is real outside of this hole. And with the anchor firmly planted, my faith and my trust and my hope in Yahuah and where he's taking me, then I can begin to climb out from this hole into that place. Hallelujah. So I pray that you can see, kind of envision that whole thing with me. I know I'm kind of visual the way that I explain things, but that's the way that the Most High explains it to me. So I pray that you were able to envision that word with me in the spirit. And I pray that it was able to speak to you in some kind of way and encourage you and edify you in your ruach and maybe where you're at in your walk, or somebody that's close to you that may be going through something similar, and help you to help them to be encouraged and to get to the next place in their walk where they are. I pray that it gave you an idea of where I am right now in my journey and the stage, the phase that I am in my healing, especially for those that care and those who have been offering support throughout this season, that I'm truly grateful for. And I pray that, those listening will be inspired to be a part of my support team and my support tribe on this journey as I continue. I still have a ways to go in this process of bringing restoration to my body and all the systems of my body. I still have a very limited income, still doing the door dashing, and which has its various challenges in trying to do the healing while I'm out driving throughout the day. And as we're beginning to warm up outside, I drive an old vehicle where I don't have any air conditioner and I only have 2 windows that wind down. So that's another financial obstacle that is kind of encumbering the continuation of driving for DoorDash. So I am being obedient, and as I'm progressing and getting to a new place with my mental clarity and my energy, and I'm shifting to a better space with that, getting a little bit more out of the brain fog. It's an up and down process as I'm going through different detoxes and things stir up, and then I get better and I have energy, and then it's a back and forth process as I'm going through these weeks of various protocols and things. So, but as I'm getting better and as I'm getting to a different place, I'm being obedient in what Yahuah is showing me to do, and I'm shifting back and putting my focus on creating content and things to edify the body of believers. So I'm shifting my focus back to that, and I'll be shifting the majority of my content over to Patreon. For those that know the platform Patreon, I'll be using that for my videos and information and content that I share that will be over there, as well as I'm shifting to some books. I'm going to be putting a lot of things in book format. So I know that there are some that have desired to give and to sow and don't have the finances necessarily to give larger amounts, to give $100 or $50 or $20, at a time. So as I'm shifting over to Patreon, it's the way the platform is set up that for as little as $5 a month, family, as little as $5 a month, and also up to $45 a month. It's a couple of different things. I have $5, $15, $30, $45 a month. For those who have been and want to continue to support and have the capacity to support, you can help to sustain. You can help me to sustain and help keep the rope flowing so that I can get out of the hole completely in this journey to health and get to the goal of being able to continue to fulfill my spiritual assignments as a teacher and a minister of the Most High. Please visit and share my Patreon page and subscribe, and you'll have exclusive access to future videos and content that will serve to educate and inspire you on your journey of growth and healing, and also give you some behind the scenes insight into my journey and my process. I'll be sharing things a little bit more in depth than I share typically on social media. And so If you'd like to continue on this journey with me and join me as Yahuah leads, to be able to continue to build community together where love is the priority, because that is the priority in this season, is walking in and exhibiting the love of the Most High Yah. So if you'd like to continue on that journey with me, please join me over Patreon, on my Patreon page, and subscribe, like I said, for as little as $5 a month, family. And for those who would like to be a part of the process and you can't afford $5 a month, still reach out to me. But those who can support and those who can give, I need your support continually to be able to get out of this process and this hole. And I appreciate those who do. Blessings and shalom to you.